A lot of people have been looking at the season and saying, hey, you know what? Something felt like it was missing with this Alabama offense. And could it be that Jalen Milroe was tipping his plays with his feet? Yeah, it could have been part of it. Or could have been Kalen DeBoer was missing his tag team partner. I mean, would the Road Warriors been the Road Warriors if Hawk and Animal weren't together? Some of you guys have no idea what that means. Anyway, look, maybe you're a fan of the Outsiders. Could Scott Hall have been as great without Kevin Nash or vice versa? Let's get into all this right here on the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, thumbs up. Thanks for being here, and roll tide, everybody. I think we got something brewing that's worth talking about and could be really good news for Alabama football. All right, like, subscribe, thumbs up. I give you that every day. And I know Bama fans, you're like, hey, we got this. We got this, Mick. Well, thank you. Thank you. And Auburn people that are here are going, that's just too many things to do. And I get that. I mean, you guys just getting up and breathing. No, I'm just kidding. Look, let's talk. Let's talk about what Ryan Grubb could mean to Kalen DeBoer. Now you're saying, what Ryan Grubb? Okay, Ryan Grubb was Nick Saban went after Ryan Grubb to be Bama's offensive coordinator, and he didn't take it. They went with Tommy Rees. They pushed hard, and then he just didn't want to. He didn't want to go. Then Kalen DeBoer took the job, and Ryan Grubb was going to be the offensive coordinator. He even made it to Tuscaloosa. Remember, we had him at the what was it, like a 8A or like a A club thing, or he's talking and he's like, I'm going to be the offensive coordinator. And then he went to Seattle, and he was the Seahawks offensive coordinator. And then a few weeks ago, you start hearing, you know what, man, not too happy in Seattle. Sleepless in Seattle, maybe. So what could it be that the production that his team had was the reason why the job he was basically fired by the Seahawks? The team ended up 10-7. The Seahawks. They got Geno Smith as their quarterback. I mean, come on, man. Geno's okay, but he's not elite. And the NFL's about elite quarterbacks. Watch who's in the Super Bowl. Geno Smith's not in the Super Bowl. It's not going to be Geno Smith. It's going to be Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen or Jalen Hurts. I mean, you got to have a legit quarterback to win in the NFL. And you say, well, okay. And I'm not saying Geno's bad, but to go 10-7 in the NFL with Geno Smith, and you're worried about, well, we were 30th in the run game. Well, that apparently is one of the things. They didn't like the fact that they threw the ball and they didn't run it effectively. They had Kenneth Walker. You remember him from Michigan State. He's a really good running back. Some other guys that can run the ball. They didn't run it. And everybody I talked to is like, well, the offensive line wasn't very good. Who knows? But Ryan Grubb may have one of those personalities that is abrasive to a lot of people. But when he gets with Kalen DeBoer, who is like the nicest guy we've ever met, maybe those two kind of, work together like yin and yang. Who knows? But as they've gone up, they've been a tandem. And they broke up. One guy went to the NFL. One guy went to Alabama. And it didn't work out great for either of them, but they didn't have a failure, right? 10-7 in the NFL and the first spot out of the playoffs, to me, in your first year as an offensive coordinator, is not a failure, okay? And 9-4 at Alabama in your first year, you know what? Could have been better to me. Could have been better. But maybe if you go and you get your guy back, he notices that your quarterback's feet are together when he's going to hand the ball off and they're apart when he's going to throw. Maybe somebody would have noticed that because I've seen it on video and it's obvious. It's like 80% of the time. You get these clips and it's like, yeah. So whatever the issue was, it comes to me down to the offensive side of the football for Alabama, because that's where the team was supposed to be really good. And they stunk against Oklahoma. And they were terrible against Michigan in some bad weather, but Michigan was fine in the bad weather. And it didn't last the whole day, just the first quarter. So we'll see. But I think that there's a good possibility that Ryan Grubb comes to Alabama. Now, how's that going to work out for the offensive staff? I don't know. I mean, I don't think you're going to fire Nick Sheridan, and he may stay offensive coordinator. They may split the role. Who knows? But my gut feeling tells me, if I was a betting man, I went to Pearl River and I put some cash down, I'd say that I feel really good about this. Because I think that when you have a teammate and you guys work well together and you have mutual success, you don't want to break that up. No, you want to keep it going. So, and the NFL isn't always what it's cracked up to be. In college, you got eager kids. Now, it's not as much fun, I'm sure, today than it was before NIL and transfer portal, but, they did a great job in Washington. And if you win, no one really cares about how many times you ran or threw the ball. Now, I think we've all looked at Alabama's offense last year and would have liked to have seen more running from Jam Miller or Justice Haynes, who transferred to Michigan. But if the results are winning, then people don't care. I don't think that there'd be many people in Tuscaloosa that if, you ended up coming in there and, and having the year that the Seahawks had compared to what we had offensively. I feel like the Seahawks took a step forward. I feel like we took a step back. And, but you knew that was going to happen. Transfer portal, new coach, new system, everything else, right? New language, as Jay Cookers told us. So anyway, that's the story to keep an eye on. What is Ryan Grubb going to come to Alabama and join with Kalen DeBoer? Because if you're Kalen DeBoer, you probably already knew this was going to happen. And you probably already are working on a deal to get him done. Or you might already have it done. But you're pulling your resources because you want to be like the Wolf Pack, Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. Hey, yo. And you guys know, wrestling fans, who I'm talking about. You want to go further back, Hawk and Animal and the Road Warriors, some of the best teams that – no, I'm not talking about the fabulous Freebirds. I know somebody out there saying that. Anyway, thank you guys for hanging out. New day for you youngsters. The Usos. I feel like something good is coming Kalen DeBoer's way, because people that bring that much positive energy and they're that easy to be around, they just bring people to them. Unless you have a ton of success, and then people will come for that too. But I just think something good's going to happen. I think Ryan Grubb makes a lot of sense to me. We'll see how it transpires. But the other thing is that there's been rumblings I've heard for the last 2 or 3 weeks. And I just couldn't understand how, if you're in the NFL and you're 10-7, that's a great, could you imagine the Giants? They'd take 10-7. The Jets, they'd take 10-7. The Bears, when's the last time they were 10-7? I mean, 10-7 in the NFL is a really good record. But it wasn't good enough. Or maybe he didn't want to be there. But you didn't want to, you got to let them fire you to get all your contract. I don't know. But we're going to find out a lot of questions. The big thing is that he's available and his guy's here. He's already once been the offensive coordinator. So who knows what the job would be. But I can't imagine a world where Kalen DeBoer isn't trying to bring in Ryan Grubb to help this team win. Shout out to basketball. Talked about it. Make sure you guys check out Catfish Courtside. We did the bracketology. It's been fun watching that. Philon just won, what is it, SEC Freshman of the Week for the 3rd time. The guy's been amazing. And the team beat up on an undefeated Oklahoma team, and now they head to South Carolina. But we'll be covering that. Please watch those videos. But shout out to Nate Oates and the guys, man. Number 5, but I'll tell you, they're not. It's who cares what the ranking is? They just are dangerous. They just have so many good players, and it's going to be so much fun to watch them as they go through this SEC schedule, just to see where they stack up. And I think that makes it fun. We'll bring on the best competition. So roll tide. All right. I want to tell you a couple things, guys. Pearl River Resort, they bring us the show every day, and we thank them so much. It's a little bit chilly out there right now, so you're probably not thinking about golf, but you're going to eventually want to golf. Spend $50 at the sports book, and that's in Golden Moon Casino. And you got the NFL playoffs. You got the big game coming up. You got college football playoffs. You got NBA. You got NHL. You got college basketball. You got it all, man. NASCAR is even fun to go up there and throw some money down on. But take advantage of it. Hour and a half from Tuscaloosa, 2 hours and change from Birmingham. It's not very far from anywhere in the state, but we appreciate them for being part of what we're doing here. And also, the other thing is pimp out your man cave. And I've done that. I can't wait to switch things up in the studio. I'm going to put some of my great prints in your vision. But you can get these too. NewLifeArt.com. Use that promo code Bama Tailgate, 20% off when you go to checkout. And then, use that code Bama Tailgate. Everything in there, the mugs, the calendars, which are fresh with Nick Saban on them this year. The Nick Saban print, the new print with Ryan Williams, who's sticking around in Tuscaloosa. I mean, just so many cool things. But NewLifeArt.com, promo code Bama Tailgate. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys. We will talk to you again soon. And I love saying this. Roll Tide.